All right, let's go to Brooke Pryor, ESPN.
Hey, Minkah, you guys added Shawn Davis a couple days ago, and he's a guy that you didn't have a chance to play with last year because he was hurt. But what have you seen from him adjusting back into a scheme that he's pretty familiar with, having played in it for so long before?
Shawn Davis is he's a good football player. He knows the scheme pretty much already, just small little adjustments that he's getting back used to doing. But he's been doing a good job. He's out there communicating, playing fast, playing physical, and just executing very well.
Dale Lawley, DK Pittsburgh Sports.
Mick, I was just wondering how much time have you guys spent this week prepping, watching Giants tape from last year and maybe some Dallas tape or something like that to kind of get an idea of what Jason Garrett's going to do with their offensive guys as well?
It's been 50-50 because Jason Garrett was the calling the plays at the Cowboys, and now he's the OC in New York. So we're watching stuff from last year's season and seasons before. So because coordinators like to run their systems, you know what I'm saying? So they had a young core last year at New York, so they're probably gonna be able to adjust very well to the new OC and whatnot. But we also have to know what New York did well last year. We have to know what every single receiver, what their the big plays were, how many times they were targeted on the different types of routes and such. So for me personally, it's 50-50. I watch, half the time is Dallas film for scheme, and then the other half is New York Giants stuff for scheme, as well as just know their personnel.
Will Graves, Associated Press.
Hey, Minkah, we always know communication is an important part of the secondary or defense in general. Are you, without playing preseason games, are you able to measure any progress in that department during practice, or is it just something that you have to get out there on Monday night and just kind of hope for the best?
Oh yeah, you can definitely measure it. Because you're making the mistakes you make in the game are mistakes that you're making in practice. You know what I'm saying? So if you're making, last year something we had to work on was our second communication. So after somebody had moved pre-snap, we had to work on communicating again. Guys would sometimes be out of assignment or not be 110% sure. So this year, I feel like we're way, way better at that. We worked on it, we made it a focus. People can move all over the place and everybody's talking. Everybody's communicating, everybody's confident out there. So I think it's definitely possible to you're not going to know exactly where you're at, obviously, because it's not, flying bullets out there or live bullets out there, but you get a good feel of, what you need to work on and what you don't.
Eric Hagman, 93.7.
Minkah, Devin and TJ both played against Saquon in college. I was just wondering, have they passed along any personal information on how to defend this guy?
No, sir. They personally haven't passed on any information.
Tim Benz, Trib.
Minkah, have the offensive coaches picked your brain at all about Patrick Graham as a defensive coordinator? And is there anything you can tell us about what you remember the brief time you interacted with him as a Miami Dolphin last year?
A little bit, but we played the Dolphins last year. They have a lot of films of him as a DC. So they asked me small little questions about minor details of the game, nothing really big, but for the most part, they have a pretty good grasp, pretty good feel for PG as a play caller.
Hugh Ringer, 96.7.
Minkah, talk about your confidence level going into the opener this year as opposed to last year when you came in early in the season with a whole lot of new teammates. I'm sure it's as different as night and day for you.
You're talking in regards to coming in with my first game with the Steelers last year?
Yes.
This year's was just total opposite ends of the spectrum. I didn't know the playbook at all. I didn't know my teammates very well. And this year is a different story. It's the total opposite. I had a whole offseason with my teammates. I had a whole season with my teammates in the playbook. So, as a whole different, very confident in the scheme, very confident in my teammates, very confident in my coaches because, I've been with them. We've been battle tested. Last year, I knew they were a great team. They were great players. I wasn't out there yet. So, it was kind of learning on the run, learning on the fly. But, they helped me a whole lot, my coaches, my teammates, and learning the playbook and just feeling comfortable.
Bob Flounders, Penn Live.
Hey, Minkah, I know that obviously Barkley is a top priority for your defense, but could you speak to the challenges of trying to defend their tight end, Evan Engram? He seems to have some unusual speed for a guy that size.
Yeah, he's just I classify him as a big receiver. He is going to block and do normal side end things, but he's a I think we're in a 4.3 or 4.4 40. So he's a fast guy. He's also physical, so it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a matchup that we're definitely going to pay attention to.
We're going to start with Mark Cabali with The Athletic.
Hey, Zach, how you doing?
Hey, Mark, how are you?
My question is, when you were first told that you won the job, how did you take it? Reaction? I mean, did you call your mom and tell you? Did you hurry up and tell your dog? What was your reaction once you found out?
My dog was next to me, but I called my parents. I did, and they were excited, but just with the same kind of mentality. My parents have been in this, business, obviously, of football for a very long time with me since second grade. Just sports in general. So when we're able to have some kind of add something to the quote unquote trophy case or my resume, it's always like a yay, but now it's on to the next goal.
All right, next we've got Brooke Pryor, ESPN.
Hey, Zach. When we talked to Randy earlier, he said that the dream of you catching a pass in a game is pretty dead. Are you okay with that as being a
Did
starting
he say
right tackle? He said that. Yeah, I'm sorry. Are you okay with that being the starting right tackle?
Brooke, even though I just made that face, I'm just joking. I promise. I really am, because just whatever it takes to help the team. That's really just my mindset. Even, when I was at jumbo tight end, that's just why I put so much passion into it, I need that same passion to carry over to what I'm doing now, because the bottom line is we can all, that's why I feel like this. We can all celebrate and congrats on all this stuff now, but I go out on Monday night and I suck. I'm done. That's just the bottom line. So I want to get to Monday night first. I want to play first. I want to put actions on tape.
All right, up next we got Tim Benz, Tribune Review.
Zach, I'm wondering now, if you're going to be starting on the right side, who have Coach Surratt and Randy told you to watch on film specifically from the Giants to be ready for? Are you looking at Lawrence? Are you looking at Golden? I know it's a little bit of a guessing game, but who do you think you'll see across the line from him?
Fill me in with the names. I go by numbers just right now. You know what I mean?
97 is Lawrence.
No. I got you. Number 44. All these guys I'm going to name all have different things in their arsenal. 44, 51, 53, and there's one more rush end. And then when you talk about the interior 397, Leonard, who I know really, really well, we're the same age at SC. He left our true junior year. Amazing player, athletic too. Not only in the run game, but the pass game. 94, I know really well too. Dalvin, that's the name, right? Played at Alabama, same age. He's strong, hard to move. The same thing with 97.
All right, next up we have Will Graves with the Associated Press.
Hey, Zach, you talked at length on Friday sort of about how you've remade your body. When did you sort of come to the realization that was something that needed to happen for you to become what you wanted to be in this league? And I guess just if you could walk us through basically sort of what you had to cut out or how you adjusted your lifestyle to get to that point.
I think just by evidence of tape. Like, I'm a big tape guy. I watch a lot of tape. I have had a lot of regrets since senior year, junior year of college, and allowing myself to become a bigger gentleman. You guys are used to that. But if you ever take the time to look up what I was doing when I was playing both sports, going through that hip surgery kind of changed the course of my life. If I could go back right now and tell the guy right now that just redshirted, who's also about to sit out again his second year, I would tell him, get with the right people, which is what I did this offseason. I think this offseason, I want to give a shout out to Jim LaValle and his wife, who live out in Southern California, and also Tim Karen, my trainer, who got me in touch with them. Drawing the blood, seeing a lot of the things, drawing my blood, seeing a lot of things that are not only allergens or I'm allergic to, but also seeing things that, inflame my body when I eat them. That was kind of a deeper science. Obviously, I couldn't afford something like that in college, but I can now. And just consistency. I think the last shout out goes to my brother, Xavier Banner, who was with me this entire quarantine, holding me accountable. He talked to me about stuff like this. Like when he's holding the bag, when I look at him like, hey, you want to go get some, some food? He'd be like, no, you're going to cook like you've been doing. I think when you have people around you who care about you like that, not only from the science perspective, but also from a family perspective, I think that's the best thing. I kind of closed my circle this offseason, and I have no regrets about it, and I want to continue through my career doing the same thing.
All right, next up, Mike Pizzuto with DVE.
Zach, you mentioned your parents being there all along for you, and your brother. You certainly didn't get this handed to you. You've had to bounce around, and it's been about a 3-year deal in the making. Anybody besides them that was particularly influential for you, or that kept you going, kept you chasing it?
Can't leave out the little baby sister. She's 16. She'll be pissed if I don't shout her out too. But to answer your question, man, there's so many in different categories of my life. Whether you talk about from a player perspective of the offensive line OGs that I've been around for the last 3 years here, we're going into my 3rd year here, 4th year in the league. Could go to the guys like my trainer, Tim Karen, or can go to guys like Coach Guimont, who's here, and staff. There's just so many different people. I think the best thing that they would want me to do right now, which is really, really hard, is to take some self-credit. It's you have to learn how to be alone when you mess up your first opportunity and you're trying to find the second one. I messed up. And sometimes you want to talk about the circumstances and the Colts and things like that, but Chris Ballard, probably. If we're gonna give a shout out to somebody, shout out to Chris Ballard, my first GM, and it's not malicious. I really mean this. He reached out to my uncle when he cut me, and he said, I'm going, and he told this to my face. He said, I'm not happy with your weight. It was the only fine I've ever had when I reported 10 pounds over, $6,000 weight fine. I've never been fined ever since then. You kind of learn from when they hit your pockets. But he just, he told my uncle, he said, I don't think anybody needs right tackles right now. And I'm going to put him on waivers. And I expect him to be on my practice squad on Tuesday. And then we're going to, when he gets his weight right, he'll be brought back up and he can help us in the future. 4 teams claimed me. The roll the dice ended up putting me in another town in the AFC North by Tuesday. And from then, a lot of people would probably screw that guy, whatever. I can't stand him. I can't believe he cut me. In all, if he was here right now, I would say thank you, because the harsh reality, and that's why I say check the tape. I move better. I've gotten in shape. It's a battle, right? It's a battle with your weight. It's a battle with your mindset. It's a battle with the mindset that you have to wake up with, that you have to execute every single day. And when I leave here, I'm going to continue that same mindset because there's still so much work to be done. So much work.
All right, guys. Next up, Joe Rudder, Tribune Review.
Zach, you had that one game you played extensively in Cleveland as a rookie at right tackle. Does that seem like a lifetime ago? And can you use any of that to fall back on experience, or is that just a distant memory?
Use it as an experience. That's a good question, Joe. Never really think about it just because it was just was just a different organization, different team. But when you look back at things like that, you know, like you as a friend who said that, it just makes me think right now. It's like, man, that's crazy. Look at those pictures from that game, post game. Like, look how big I was. Like, my hair was trash, all that stuff. Like, it feels good to be a 26-year-old guy looking down upon the 23, because I mean, the 23-year-old myself, because that means we're making progress and we're getting better.
All right, a couple more guys. We're going to go to Ray Fittipaldo with the Post-Gazette.
Hey, Zach, I was wondering, what's it been like for you to play with so many different right guards during this camp, and what's your comfort level with Stefan going into the opener?
Yeah, when you talk about Stefan as a player, he does all, he knows all his X's and O's. I mean, what is this, 10 years, 11 years? Like, just, it's crazy. Smart guy, works really, really hard. He communicates really, really well. I'm excited. We're both excited. He texted me congratulations when it was announced, and it's one of those things where you put your hard hat on and show up to work next to each other.
All right, last one. We're going to Brian Batko, Post-Gazette.
Hey, Zach. Not much. Two-part kind of question for you. I mean, does this kind of feel like your NFL debut a little bit, even though you played so much last year? And also, have you talked to Lincoln Kennedy at all, given that this is kind of a big moment for you in your NFL life?
Absolutely. It's a different, I want to say it's a different position. You guys have to understand, when you're at the jumbo tight end, you're thinking like a tight end, but also a tackle, because you have to kind of use a lot of the footwork and the technique, but the assignment, you are a tight end. So it's really different. You have to study and put the time in. Yes, and to answer your second question, Lincoln and I spoke, whether it was yesterday or the day before, about it, and we talked on the phone, and same thing with him. Now it's on to the next step. He always gives his two pieces, but he also understands the awesome opportunity I have in being in a house out here, because you don't ever want to cross technique coach, if that makes sense. A lot of the stuff when he was with the Raiders was a little bit different, but as an offensive tackle, it's the same. So a little bit of technique here or there, and just conversation going on. We'll touch base this weekend going into it. Just had to finally get through yesterday when we're presented who it is that we're going against, and just film, man. That's all I'm doing. Hanging out with my dog, talking to you guys, going to practice, working out, and watching film.